Hello, everybody. Good morning. And today I'm speaking to Yoav from BrandShield, who is located currently in Israel. How are you doing, Yoav?
Doing well, thanks. How are you, Ed?
Okay, I'm good. I'm very good, thank you. First of all, tell me a little bit about BrandShield and how you got involved in brand protection, please.
Well, BrandShield is an Israeli technology company. It's headquartered in Israel, and our R&D is based in Israel. What we've developed is a system, a technology that is really revolutionizing online brand protection. Generally, what it does, it automatically scans the entire internet to find websites, marketplaces, listings, mobile apps, paid ads, and social media pages that are potentially infringing trademarks, selling counterfeits, committing fraud, diverting traffic of users, doing all those bad things. The system collects a lot of data. I'll explain probably more later on in our discussion. It analyzes that data based on artificial intelligence and big data, and provides the ability to really focus on the major problems that are online, the biggest risks, I would say, and also provides enforcement tools to take action and stop these things from happening. You've asked also, your second part of your question was, how did I get into this to brand protection? So this is actually our second company. Myself and the other two founders. The first company is called Domain.net. Domain.net is the largest domain name registrar in Israel. Traditionally, online brand protection was and still is provided by domain registrars, actually coming from that market. And with the changes in that market, with the new GTLDs, all the extensions that have been added in the past few years to the internet, we understood that there's a need for something very different. All the other things that were out there were mainly service-based, and we understood that there's a need for technology. About 5 years ago, we decided to develop this technology. We started it within Domain.net with the backing of Israel's chief scientist, which is a government fund. Spun it off in 2013 to a separate company. So BrandShield is a separate company today, providing this software, online SaaS, software as a service. So that's how we got into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. But how does it work? So let's say I have a private label brand, and it doesn't take much to be yourself a private label brand. You can order, a few hundred pieces, put yourself together a $15 free website, and get brand registered on Amazon and call yourself a private label brand. So how exactly does that work? So, I mean, let's say you're a company doing just $1 million in sales a year. Walk me through the process. Like, you'll just give the information of who's copying your item. How does it work?
Okay, so let's separate it to I would say two parts. The first one is focused on the marketplaces, on Amazon or eBay or Alibaba or the others, where it will be more relevant to, as you described, to the type of private label sellers that you're talking about. Generally, what the system will do in that case, it will search on the marketplaces for everything that is out there, all the listings that contain your brand this way or another, your private label. It will grab all that information. It will present it to you in an online live system that will allow you to prioritize. Actually, it will prioritize by itself based on different web metrics in order to take down the ones that are potentially infringing. Now, generally, what the system does, not only on the marketplaces, but generally across the websites or mobile apps or marketplaces listings, it analyzes a lot of web metrics. So it starts from, and that's probably the biggest differentiator, from any other services, someone that sits on the manually on the marketplace and tries to find infringes. The system, first of all, automatically monitors the entire web, so it goes deep and collects a lot of data with crawlers and all types of technologies. It collects data from different sources like the search engines and the platforms of the marketplaces, or Alexa and Moz and so on. But then the analysis starts from natural language processing, NLP, which is the same type of technology that Google uses to analyze websites. So we analyze the content of each website and marketplace listing and mobile app. The system analyzes the keywords around it. It does automatic logo recognition. It looks at search engine optimization data. It looks at when you talk about websites, incoming links, outbound links, a lot of different web metrics. Now, of course, in the marketplaces listings, these are other things. It can be, the number of listings for a seller, or different other attributes that you might not even, see, by the human eye. And based on all that information, the system's algorithm automatically prioritize the potential level of risk each marketplace listing or website or mobile app has to your name, to your private label, whether it's your private label, a brand, or maybe a personal name. It can be used also for that. So that allows you to take a look and focus on those things. Now, in the marketplaces model of the system, there's all kinds of ways to sort the data and focus on, things that are coming from a certain category or a certain country, or with a certain pricing, which might be, not always, as we know, might be one of those parameters that show you, whether there's an infringement there, a potential sale of a counterfeit. So yeah, and then and maybe one more thing, you can perform, and actually you tell the system what are the ones that are suspicious and you want to take it down, and it creates the report that you can file to the marketplace for taking down that specific or those specific listings. And then there's a whole enforcement section where you can monitor what's going on. It starts pinging it on a daily basis and actually tell you when it's being removed, and you can really see the ROI there, the return on investment, and what how many listings were removed, what's their value, and so on.
I think that's incredible, and there's a big need for it. So I just want to make sure you understand. So I'm assuming that I'll be able to whitelist certain names, because if I have an authorized distributor, right. So now how does it work? So let's say, I don't know if you're familiar with eBay's Vero program or Amazon Rights Owner Complaint.
Of course.
That template will be set up and automatically sent?
Yes. So generally what we create kind of a general table, an Excel spreadsheet that has all the information that you will need to either of the marketplaces, whether it's eBay or Amazon or Alibaba or whatever. As you probably know, each one of them, as you've already said, has their own process. Mm-hmm. So some are online, some are by email, some are all kinds of types of processes. The idea that we've created something one type of report that you can use and file to any of these. So generally you will mark the ones that you want to take down. You create that report, and then you'll just take the final action to report it to the marketplace. We can do it for you, but I think for most resellers that we're talking, as you said, kind of a reseller, a private label that has up to $1 million in revenues, or even a few more, you don't want to spend too much money. And the great thing about the system, this is what we're getting also from a lot of our customers, that even the large brands that use this system. What happened is that they were used to have some outside services that will actually do it for them. But because the system is so simple to use, the UI is the user interface is so friendly. It's kind of a few clicks. You find what you need. You can create a report, and then just sending it to the marketplace is just it's an email away. And that's very simple.
Right. Yeah. That's I definitely can see the need. So what would be like in the door, for like sort of the non-premium, lowest level, basic service? Like, what would it cost?
Well, you mean what's going to be the cost? Sorry,
Yeah.
what is the cost for
In
that?
other words, if somebody wants to sign up to your service,
Yeah.
what's the? I'm sure you have different levels and stuff, but what would be the
Yeah,
basic?
we've actually originally, we started from kind of the early adopters, the bigger brands, the medium-sized brands, companies that started using the system. Recently, a few months ago, we understood there's a need for a little different program, not necessarily what we call the enterprise program that has at least 10 marketplaces, as a part of the subscription, the annual subscription. What we've created is a program that allows you to subscribe for one a marketplace or two or three, whatever you choose, and there's a fixed cost for that. If you do it that way, it doesn't matter which marketplace, and as long as you're not a tier one brand, worldwide brand. If we're talking about these private label companies. The cost is $150 a month. So an annual subscription is $1,800, and that's per marketplace. Most I would assume will need one or two marketplaces, where maybe three, where they have the most problems in this size. It's reasonable. It will definitely, if you calculate your time, it will save much more than that. The ROI is like for this type is like straightforward. It saves you 1 hour a month, and it will save much more than that. It will definitely be you'll have an ROI of that, but it will allow you more than that, because what it gives you is that as you continue using the system, it has one more thing that I didn't talk about from the technology is machine learning. So it learns from what's happening, from your reports, from your actions, from different things. It learns. And then it finds all those patterns, all those big data patterns that allow it to actually quickly, when something goes up, give it a high score on the system, so you quickly notice it and you take it down. Once you see that, and that is, of course, worth a lot.
Yeah, so if I see, let's say, I'm assuming that as soon as, let's say myself, as soon as if I would use the system, or any private label seller that'll use the system, the most value will be the first time they use it, the first few times, and then you just needed to keep checking.
Yeah, so definitely.
Yeah, so I don't need I don't need an attorney here at all.
No.
At no point. I'm just probably signing some kind of a. I have to. Yeah, how does that work?
Vero, for example, for eBay, doesn't require you to have an attorney. You might, they require all kinds of documents to report. You might need to, at some point, when you set up your account with, Vero account with eBay or the other, relationships with the other marketplaces, you might need to consult your attorney just to know which documents to provide. But definitely for the actual use of the system and the actual performance of the enforcement and takedowns of those listings, there's no need for attorney to do that, and that's the great thing about it.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see. I think this is revolutionary, because doing it manually is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it becomes just a big hassle, and that's it doesn't worth it. And you can find everything manually. It's much harder. And here it not only finds everything for you, it prioritizes it. So it really, it's a few clicks away, and and you get those things away. And there's one thing that is very important. Look, this problem becomes huge. Maybe some of your viewers know those numbers, but just to state them, last year in 2015, 1.7 trillion US dollars worth of US dollars were the counterfeits sold worldwide. This is an enormous number. Just to put that into proportion. If it was an economy, a country, it would have been the 12th largest economy in the world, just a little after Canada.
Wow.
This is how big the problem is. Now, I'm going around in different conferences of counterfeits, and most of the people that come to those are the bigger brands, kind of the bigger companies, and they many times they present things they've seized. It's amazing. I've seen from a soap and toothpaste through electronics and clothing and car parts and full cars. Okay, like everything is counterfeited. So now we've seen this hitting, and a lot of people, when you talk about counterfeits, you talk about online brand protection, they think, well, a big brand, okay, this is no, that's not true. What we've been seeing in the past few years is when you have a good product or you have a good name, doesn't have to be like a brand, a big brand. The counterfeiters, they find that and they quickly start faking it and start selling it. And the first thing they're going to do is selling it on the different marketplaces. And, I've seen a few different companies, small companies that have their own, private label, whatever you call it, a brand with sometimes with some new products that they start selling on Amazon or on eBay. And within 4 or 5 months, it starts being full, the marketplace full with counterfeits. And that's a big problem. Now, more than that, and we've seen different articles, I'm sure, lately that Amazon, for example, is starting to try different things. I think we're still far from any of these marketplaces to be able to solve that. And one of the things, for example, that I'm not sure that a lot of people are aware, Amazon's Fulfilled By actually puts a lot of companies into a problem, because what they do in the Fulfilled By, and you probably know that, they put everything from a certain product, they put it in one big, pile.
Commingled.
Yeah. Commingled. Yeah. So when it's sold out, actually, the product itself might come, if a counterfeits come from one seller and it's in that pile and another seller sells that, it might be, he might be actually sending out, without even knowing about it, a counterfeit product that some other person put in. That creates a big mess. Right. So I think we're still a way. It's far from this problem to be solved globally. And if you really want to protect yourself, you need to take your own action.
Yeah. So you're saying that. So let's say if I want to monitor eBay and Amazon of a small private label brand, you're saying $300 a month.
Yeah,
I'm in the door.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. You have the system ongoing, and you won't need to spend a lot of time on it. An hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week max, probably. Really depending on what are the problems that you have, or right. What's your brand, maybe even less than that.
I would say the initial work, because you got to clean up all the garbage out for the last few years.
Yeah.
Will be at the beginning.
That will be more, but then you just monitor from time to time. You take a look, you see what's happening. That's it, and and that's the resources that you need to put in. But of course, the return, stopping these sales from happening is much higher.
Yeah, and one last question: how do I deal with it if someone puts it on their website? Because the marketplaces all have systems. How do they work for websites?
So first of all, for websites, we have a separate model. That will probably be relevant for a little bigger companies with a little with a more, I would say, brand awareness worldwide. That the bad guys started really copying websites and have standalone websites that are using that brand or selling that brand. What that part does is, well, I've described how the system works. So it focuses on, over 300 million domain names and websites that are out there. It also, of course, scans the entire domain name zone files of the world to find variations of typos and, things like that of the name with semantic analysis and so on. But then it scans the entire website for content, the web metrics as I've described. We'll provide that prioritization. And then there's again enforcement tools over there. One of them is a cease and desist notification tool with templates in the system, so you don't need an attorney to do that. Of course, you need to be careful and really send it out to someone that is really infringing. But you have it already there, and again, a few clicks, and you can take the action and stop that. Costs, again, it depends on the brand. It changes, but we do have limited versions that start at $165 a month. That's for smaller brands, and it's a monthly scan. Might be enough for most, private label. So
Yeah.
that's generally the option.
Okay, Yoav, that was great, and I could see a great value in this. You ever go to any like shows or events?
Oh yeah. We do go to shows. We still didn't go to any of the sellers shows. We'll probably start doing that because we see a growing need in this market, and we'll probably start doing that in the coming year, in 2017. The main shows that we've been a part of until now are the International Trademark Association, conferences and meetings, and the Anti-Counterfeiting Coalition meetings, and other intellectual property relevant conferences. But we're definitely going to start, presenting it in other spaces, because this problem becomes, a problem for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I can let you know which ones, but yeah, I think it's fills a great need. So I appreciate you coming on, Yoav, and
Sure.
I'll put your contact information below. Thank you so much. That was really good.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Bye.